Bob Nagy here again with another tech equipment review, this time the Canon HF-G60 4K camcorder. Now, why do camcorders even still exist? Because everybody knows you can take great video and stills with a telephone these days. What I'm going to tell you is that that super top-of-the-line telephone, and we know the price tag on those things, is about the same 4K video camera as a low-level camcorder. That means once you get up into the prosumer level like this, where this camcorder costs about the same list price as a top-of-the-line telephone, this takes much better video and has a whole bunch of features that you just can't get on a telephone. Now, this video is not going to be a training video where I'm going to go through all the features and functions. This video, like it says, is should you buy one of these? So if you're in the market for a prosumer level camera, you know, I'm going to compare this with the exact ones from the other manufacturers, something people generally don't do. And I'm going to just tell you the down and dirty on these things, because I've been a pro shooter for many, many, many years. So if you expect to, you know, go into a paying gig, you're not going to see a paying gig with a guy walking with a telephone where everybody else has got a telephone. You walk in with one of these, or the boom mic on the top, shotgun on there, they know that's the guy that's getting paid to do the job. So let's take a look at, answer that question. Should you buy one of these?
The HF-G60 from Canon is the current model of a long line of HF-G series cameras. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and now 60, including all the variants that have handles on top with XLR connectors, but really they're using a lot of the same technology in a very mature camera line. Now, each manufacturer has its own strengths and family characteristics. Sony is the sensor king. They really make great sensors, and they make great cameras with really excellent sensors. Panasonic makes great movie-making cameras. The GH4, GH5 series, the indie filmmakers are out there shooting with that GH5. What a great camera. Canon has always been the lens people. You look at a sporting event, all the shooters have the long white lenses. They're all Canon lenses. And JVC is the redheaded stepchild. They try harder, they have a lot of high-value cameras, but they're not an industry leader. So cameras from different manufacturers really can excel in one thing, and maybe one of the other things doesn't work so well. But I prefer a camera that has balanced performance in all the categories. So let's list the top 6 criteria when you're looking at any top-quality 4K camera. On my top 6 list, number 1 is fantastic picture quality. You don't have that, forget about it. Next is excellent autofocus, fast, accurate, reliable autofocus. Number 3 for me is great image stabilization, so I don't have to use a tripod. Next, I want an optical zoom that's very wide range and high quality, something you're not going to get on a phone. And that it shoots 4K and many other HD formats, so if I need to go down in resolution, I can. And last, I want long battery life, so I don't have to keep changing batteries. One of the things that's really going to have a major impact on the performance of the camera is the sensor size. So let's take a look at what the trade-offs are. The sensor picks up the image in back of your lens, and this is where a lot of the production and engineering costs come in for manufacturers. So with larger sensors, they are higher cost in general to produce, and your camera's going to cost more, but they produce better low-light images. And also bokeh, what we call bokeh, that means those nice, soft, out-of-focus backgrounds that make the subject look really nice. With a smaller sensor, they're much lower cost to produce, and they're all right in low light, not fantastic, but they tend to have everything in focus. It's very difficult to get that nice out-of-focus background look. My opinion is that a 1-inch sensor is the sweet spot balance point for a 4K video camcorder. Now, when it comes to lenses, Canon has produced more lenses than any other manufacturer over the last decades. Their variety and quality is unexcelled. Another thing Canon excels at is what's called color science. That is, how does the camera see and process the colors in the image, and does it look excellent to your eye? I'm going to compare a couple of simple shots with the Sony FDR-AX100, which is in the same ballpark as this camera. These were both shot in early morning low light, with both cameras on full auto. This is the FDR-AX100 by Sony. And now the Canon HF-G60. Immediately your brain perceives that the colors are just more pleasing. Back to the FDR-AX100 Sony camera. And now over to the Canon HF-G60. Now your results may vary, but the Canon always looks better to my eye. Canon's combination of electronic plus mechanical optical stabilization make a tremendous system when you're out there in the field without a tripod. Now, something you wouldn't think of is that designing electronics with very low power consumption is very difficult. The chips used to process 4K video require a lot of power. Now, the stock battery supplied with the camera can run it for about 45 minutes or so, but the large capacity battery available from Canon and third-party makers can run it for well over 3 hours. And then you've got the ergonomics of a camera. Now, this is the latest in a long series of HF-G cameras. So they've had a long time to really work out placement of everything, and this camera is just about perfect. I can articulate the screen around like that if I want to do a side shot like that. And wow, it just feels great in the hand. I put these little pieces of tape here on the lens cover so I know which way is open. White's open, red's closed. I don't have to look around the front to double check. So if we look at Canon's family traits, that's rich, saturated colors. They've got the best skin tones of any of the cameras in the industry. Low noise images, film-like look, great stabilizers, great autofocus, and their ergonomics make the cameras really easy to use. So why choose the Canon over the Sony or Panasonic, the AX700 or the WXF991K? Both great cameras. Well, let's make a chart and start comparing the attributes. All right, let's take a look at my subjective chart here. First is picture. Without good picture, who cares, right? Well, you can count all the pixels you want, read the specs till you're blue in the face, but then take video with these cameras, put it on your monitor, and you go, wow, the Canon has the best picture. It looks like eye candy compared to the others, so it gets the highest rating. Autofocus, Canon has a lot of experience from their still cameras, and their autofocus is the best. Both of the other brands have really tried hard to optimize their AF, but they're not quite as good. The lens, basically, they're 7, 8, and 9. Canon's not at the very top over here because the Panasonic lens has the longest optical zoom. Well, these are licensed from Zeiss and Leica on the Panasonic and the Sony. They're very great lenses, but Canon also has tremendous experience there, and I don't use telephoto most of the time. I use wide angle most of the time. That's where I'm sitting, so the ultimate amount of zoom really doesn't matter to me. So there you go, didn't win on the lens. Low light, the Panasonic automatically loses because it has a small sensor. The other two have the 1-inch sensor, and that allows you to have much better low light performance. Now, they should be roughly equal, but they're not quite. In very low light, the Sony has a little more noise in the picture than the Canon. The stabilizer, yes, the stabilizer. Well, you saw a demonstration of how good it is in the Canon. The Panasonic also has a tremendous stabilizer in it, combination of electrical and mechanical. The Sony stabilizer is not quite as good. On battery life, they've all got it worked out really well. They're getting the same rating. The large battery can run all of these for many, many hours. And then you've got ergonomics. How does the thing feel in your hand, and are the buttons exactly where you expect them to be? Well, all in all, I really like the Canon ergonomics the best. The zoom rocker, the way that it feels when you're pushing it, you intuitively sort of know where the buttons are, and it just feels best to me, although the other two are very good. So there you go. There's the total scores. Now, all of these cameras are excellent cameras. You cannot go wrong with these cameras. But if you're going to spend this kind of money, you want the best one, and the Canon really is on top.
So there you have it. Really, I give the 2 thumbs up choice to the HF-G60. It just got it all going on, and it's a really balanced, great run and gun camera. So don't bother subscribing. I have another channel that's mostly tech communications gear, but I like to do the occasional camera and things that are off topic for me. So hope that helped you out. Take care.